Charlie, we did it. You got me here. We're standing here. Where are we?
Well, Deborah, here we are on the Somerset Levels and Moors, about to show you some of our science in action.
This is your farm.
We've been organic beef for about 15 years. I love producing beef. It's great to do that sort of thing, but it's also good to be good for the environment.
In Somerset, this is the second largest extent of lowland peatlands in the UK. The plants grow, they capture carbon from the atmosphere, they fall down into the water, they don't fully decompose. So that means that progressively, year upon year, you get a progressive build-up of partially decomposed plant matter, which is carbon. So over periods of time, you can get peat deposits of meters, many meters deep, and that is all carbon that has been taken out of the atmosphere by photosynthesis and stored in a stable way under waterlogged conditions.
Oh, I see. So digging up is just pumping carbon back into the atmosphere.
We know we've got to reduce the emissions from peatlands. There's not really a pathway to net zero in the land sector and nationally unless we plug the great big leak of carbon that's coming out of some of these peatlands. So effectively what we're trying to do is demonstrate how much decarbonisation can be achieved while still allowing the food production to happen. So this is a flux tower.
Right.
So this is a very, very advanced weather station. This thing tells us what's happening right now. So it's got that near-term element to it. It tells us the direction of travel of what's happening for your agriculture, for your bioenergy, for example. If someone's saying, well, you know, I'm going to do this to my land, and I'm going to save this much carbon, then this thing actually lets us validate that and say, yes, that is actually what happens if you do that under these conditions.
You see, that's my language, because, you know, in business, I would be used to saying, okay, this is the action we're going to take, and this is actually what, you know, this is what we thought was going to happen, this is what's happening.
Yes.
You know, it's the reporting, it's the evidence, it's the baseline, it's the, you know, is it actually doing the thing that we expected to do? And I guess this is the bit that's saying, okay, that's what you thought it was going to do, this is what it's done.
That's why in this farm here, this is exactly what we're doing. We're doing a baseline. We're going to keep the baseline system running business as usual. We're going to make an intervention here, and then we're going to compare those things. So we can actually say, this is what happened to the carbon. You know, if the carbon reduces, then we can say, yeah, if you change your land from this to this is how much carbon was
So
saved.
now we're talking my language.
Yeah.
Now I'm there. Talk about biodiversity. Actually, what does that mean?
It's everything that we share our planet with. We are one species of millions and millions of species on this planet, so it's all the animals and all the plants we share our Earth with.
And why should we worry if some of them are disappearing?
I mean, it is the foundation for all life on Earth, and I mean specifically relating it to humans, to us. Biodiversity and pollinators, they pollinate 70% of all of our crops. Our entire food system will collapse without biodiversity. Our medical system, our pharmaceuticals, 80% of all pharmaceuticals are either based off or inspired by nature. As scientists, we've developed lots of new technologies for being able to study wildlife. We could take, say, 100,000 hours of data, which I worked out would take me about 30 years to listen to. I can run an AI model over that data in a couple of days, and it can tell me everything.
That is how AI should be used. That is brilliant.
There's a light in here that attracts the moths, and there's sort of another one here, and they land on this board, and every time the camera detects motion, it takes a picture. So instead of the sort of manual ways of monitoring where people will use moth traps.
Yeah, my husband's got a moth trap, which I always find, I feel a bit sorry for the moths.
I feel a bit sorry for the moths, and this is one of the reasons we developed this, because they land on the board, they have their photo taken, and then they go. and then they fly away again. So it's a very non-invasive way of collecting data. We're not killing the very species we're trying to study.
It's a moth photo booth. It's exactly what all of this data collection is about. What can we actually do about this?
What can we do? Biodiversity can bounce back. It is incredibly resilient. We've just got to facilitate that.
We're all aware of the increasing pressures that the world faces, whether it's warmer weather, whether it's bigger floods, whether it's biodiversity decline, decreasing peatlands.
Customers, once they know they care, business has to get ahead of that caring. You know, and I hear a lot of talk in businesses about their impact on the planet, but I also hear a lot of, I don't really know what to do about it. You know, and I think it's why I said how do businesses actually access this information?
Yes.
Because I want to do something, but I don't know what that is.
Yes.
You know, and so I think it's really important that this becomes sort of something that people feel they can use.
We really want to find what interventions, what can we do that actually changes those things for the better. And it's only by getting out, observing, experimenting, collecting that sort of robust data that we're able to answer those questions, and in a way that they can then be applied more widely for that wider benefit.